7 News reporter Russell Haythorne continuing our live coverage. Now, Russell, prosecutors also confirming DNA evidence and a confession as Sigg made his first court appearance today.
Mike, they revealed those details at the first court hearing this morning. Austin Sigg is now being held at the Mount View Juvenile Detention Facility in Lakewood. He is being held without bond, and the DA says formal charges in this case will come next Tuesday. And despite Sigg's age, only 17 years old, he will be formally charged as an adult. The case has generated so much attention, some family members of the suspect couldn't get into the courtroom. Sigg's great uncle was among those turned away. Cameras were not allowed inside the courtroom, but DA Scott Story says he will be charging Sigg as an adult because of overwhelming evidence, including a DNA match and a confession.
We haven't really completed the process, but based upon my experience and what I think the charges will be, I think that's the appropriate thing to do is to charge as an adult.
In court, Sigg was wearing a light green jumpsuit and was shackled around the wrists and ankles. He appeared calm, almost like an observer himself, glancing around the courtroom. One of his family members wept loudly. Jessica's family and friends were dressed in purple, the 10-year-old's favorite color. The defense argued Sigg should be released, calling him low risk because he had no priors. Prosecutors argued he be held without bond because it's a murder case and because he's being held for another attack on a female jogger. The judge agreed with prosecutors. Again, Sigg is being held at the Mount View Juvenile Detention Facility. If he's charged as an adult, he cannot face the death penalty because he is a juvenile, and Colorado law prohibits that. He is expected to be back in court in Jefferson County next Tuesday. Live in the newsroom, I'm Russell Haythorne. Back to you.
And right now, 7 News reporter Lance Hernandez is in Sigg's neighborhood where police are searching the teen's home. And Lance, it is clear from what you are seeing that police are committed to building their case.
Very much so, and police still have both ends of West 102nd Avenue blocked off, and for residents who live on the same block as the suspect, they have to go through that checkpoint to get to their homes. Up the street, it's still a lot of activity. Investigators have been busy all day long processing evidence.
Crime scene investigators in white garb continue to remove bags of evidence from the suspect's home. It's a process that's been going on for 2 days. The crime scene is quite extensive. We walked around the block and noticed that 3 homes to the south of the Sigg's back fence have been taped off. It's the same across the street from the Sigg's house to the north. There's even a police car stationed on the greenway behind those homes.
A couple of days ago, they were taking DNA through the neighborhood, and they came to my house, and my son-in-law was interviewed and had to give DNA.
Neighbor Connie Johns says she figured investigators had the suspect's DNA if they were collecting samples from other neighborhood residents. She says for 3 weeks now, she's been thinking about Jessica Ridgeway's mom and the anguish she's had to endure. She said last night she started thinking about the anguish Austin Sigg's mom is experiencing.
It's a tragedy just as big for this mom and for this family to have to deal with this from their son. My heart really hurts for this family.
And moments ago, I spoke with a next-door neighbor of Austin Sigg's. Dan Thompson told me that he and his family's hearts have been grieving for Jessica for 3 weeks now, and he says they too now are grieving for the Siggs. He says he hopes everyone can recover. In Westminster, Lance Hernandez, 7 News.